Okay, so now before we get into this session, right, I would like to share with you why we are doing this. So as you guys know, right, we have set up a Technic Matters initiative to deliver accurate, clear, and specific powerlifting information, mostly through YouTube and Instagram. Okay, so most of this information, right, are technical elements, scientific facts, and also analytical programming knowledge. So this is what we cover. Oh, Guyong has a video now. Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
but we want to do more for you guys. So especially the ones right here now. But what I would really like to emphasize is this: that powerlifting is a very mental sport. Okay, so it's a mental game and hobby that we adopt because we enjoy the challenge of it. Okay, so all of us among here, we are all just a bunch of crazy people who think that life is too easy. So we decided to have a new challenge, which is doing powerlifting, right? But it's very mental. It creates a lot of love and hate and whatever. I don't. So so one good example that it is indeed a mental sport, right, is that during this unfortunate event, we powerlifters are devastated because we cannot train. So it affects us not just physically because we lose our gains, right, but it also affects us mentally because we are afraid that we'll lose so much gains, and then we will more or less think towards the extreme where if I cannot train, I might as well quit the sport and not do it anymore because it will be one less burden for me. So imagine I go to work and after work I can just go home, watch all the Netflix I can. I don't even need to think about training or whatever. I just be fat, nobody cares, right? But this is not what we want. Hence the real reason why we're having this conversation interaction, right? Is to spark your mental excitement so as to keep you guys sane instead of going insane, and also keep you motivated in improving the sport. So whichever technical advantages you guys have from watching our videos, right, it will keep you more excited and ready to train when you guys have the opportunity to do so. Okay, so this is what I truly believe in. If you want to be a good at this sport, you want to be a good athlete and strong athlete, you have to improve your mental perspective of the game. Okay, so what I'm trying to say for my presentation is what you hate, and especially from the stories that you have provided today, what we have learned that is what you hate doesn't mean that what you hate can also mean that you love, and what you love can also mean that you hate eventually over time and different period and different scenarios. So, um, so whichever decisions you guys have made to shoot, shag, marry each and every one of the leaf, it will change. So it's not concrete. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna forever. When I started powerlifting, I'm gonna forever shoot bench because uh, I don't like it at all. Eventually, you come to a journey and come to a point where you start to love that lift again because you see some progress in it and etc. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you a little bit more about the mental investment. So this is one of the strategies and principle that I adopt, especially as an athlete competing against the world level. So what is mental investment? Mental investment is actually how much attachment you have over a lift. Okay, so you just imagine we have 100%, and then most of us will put in the highest amount of percentage into the one that mental investment into the one that we enjoy the most. For example, some of us who loves deadlift will put like 50% of their attachment into deadlift, and they put a lot of focus in it. Whereas they put like 30% into bench and 20% into squat because they know their femurs are too long and I'm not gonna squat very well. So they don't really give a shit about it. Okay, so how much mental investment you put into each of the lift will affect your performance, obviously, because if you don't really care about it, you won't put a lot of attention into it, so it will affect your performance. Whereas if you really love it, you'll do it very well, and you put a lot of effort into it, and hence your performance will increase. So it affects your mindset as well, and lastly, your training progression. So right, so the about the training progression, right? So uh, as much as a program is perfect for you, it still requires a high amount of mental invest. How it is still determined by how much mental investment you put it in the lift so as to improve it. I can give myself a very linear progression bench press program, but over this period, if I were to improve my proficient and technique of the bench, even with a linear program, I can make progression out of it, and my numbers will increase as well because you improve your technique, your efficiency gets better, and then your lifts get better. which is why mental investments is one up higher than programming or whichever program you are following. So what I believe in is mental investment as the highest level, then technique, then program in terms of that. Okay, so if you look at this small little image I'm showing here, on the most left side is hate, and on the utmost right is love. So if I were to put so it's literally like a shoot, shag, marry scenario where this is shoot, this is shag, and this is marry, and you want to put your list on it. So like all investment, what I strongly advise is this principle which I adopt as well. So as you guys know, I decide to check everything, because the more I care, the more I will get into trouble, the more I will the more I will kind of screw up my lift, because I'm too analytical. I like to change a lot of things for myself. So by having a 1/3 principle, it means that I put the same amount of focus into each of the lifts. So I divide the 100% into three. So if I divide 100% into three, I can convert it into 33.33333, but easier said to be 1/3, right? So by having that kind of mental investment, I do not put all the eggs in one basket. So uh, as you know, like for me, I'm not like, I mean, some people will think that, oh, I'm strongest in deadlift, or some people will think that, oh, Clinton is amazing in squats, he's the best at squats. But my opinion is this: I always feel that I'm a very well balanced lifter, no matter what other people say or no matter what other people feel about my lift and my powerlifting performance. I'm a balanced lifter. I want to be good at all three: squat, bench, deadlift. So I always put in the same amount of mental investment into it. And I do not favor more than the other. So during different phases in my training program, for example, during this block, I feel that squats are extremely tough and bench is super easy. I will not change my perspective in, oh, I'm gonna start to love bench and I'll hate squats. No, I should not do that. What I should do is actually to sit down and tell myself and ask myself, okay, why do I start to love one? Why do I initiate to start to love bench more? Because I made some progression and I've been through the process of improving and I'm learning. That's why I'm enjoying it. So I need to apply the same kind of principle into the squat so that I can start to improve on the squat as well. You do not so um there's no such things in my theory that I want to abandon ship. So I want to abandon a lift, because that is quite nonsensical. And there's no such things as I want to invest in all the lift in at one shot, because I did that before. So what I did when I first get into U74 was I wanted to break the world record squat. So back then it was only 270 kilos. So all I need to do is 270.5 kilos, right? So it's only a 0.5 kilo increment from the world record to get the world record. So I put in so much effort in the squat, I kind of neglected my deadlift and my bench. So the result shown, I mean, I grind the weight up, but I did not get the lift because there was downward motion. So in fact, I failed so much. I fell from the top all the way to the bottom, and in fact, stuck into hell, because I did not get my world record and my total was not as good as I expected. Okay, so at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is do not put all your eggs in one investment as in one basket, as all investment always suggests. Okay, so now let's talk more about the emotional and analytical point of view. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are more emotional lifter, because your feeling is more enhanced, you like to feel how it feels like when you're squatting, when there's a weight behind your bar. So in order to judge, right, it's better to watch how the lift move. So you should improve on your visual validation instead of feeling validation, because your judgment may not be right as well. For example, if you are more emotional lifter, let's say you squat and you feel that the squat is about RPE 7, but in fact when you watch the lift, right, it's like RPE 9. You're like grinding the shit out. So by having this visual validation, you can better understand how do we pick the selections and expect the next one to be. Okay. So if you are more analytic lifter, right? For example, like me, and I believe most coaches are more analytic, like JJ as well, and possibly one of you guys here, Haley, is more analytic lifter as well. So we like to see how the lift goes. So all the time after our set, we record all our sets, and then after each set, we'll watch our video and see what's wrong. So we kind of forget about our senses and how the lift felt. So what I truly recommend you guys, people like us, to do if you are analytical, is to feel the lift instead of looking how it looks like. So what we do is we squat. After we squat, we think and reflect, how does it feel. If it feels good, okay, good. All right. And I reflect on the lift itself by watching it. If I watch it and I feel that, okay, there are some improvements to be made, but actually I'm feeling great. So do not fix something that isn't a problem. So just stay with it and continue on. Okay. So uh which is which is why I want to bring to the next point, which is validation. Validation is important because it helps to keep you sane. It helps to keep you positive in the mind. And then a coach is critical in your journey, right? Because he or she is the one who will help you validate your performance every lift at a time. Because what they will do is basically provide feedback. You yourself know. Okay, so for example, I coach JJ and JJ squat a top single of 165. He feels that it feels pretty good. Like, but in a coach perspective, in my perspective, it looks slow. So from there, through conversation, we'll get to understand and limit and manage the expectations. Because if JJ feels that it's too easy and he wants to add to 170 the next week, but the judgment and the validation does not reflect well on the coach perspective, and I feel that no, I think 167 is better before we progress to 170. So through this kind of feedback, then we can start to make more accurate moves towards the next step and improve your journey, and setting small targets to help you work towards your ultimate goal. Okay. Okay, so we are towards the end of it. So at the end of the day, right, the process of your powerlifting journey matters the most. Okay, so because with only the understanding that the process matters, then you will get more matured in the sport. And getting the maturity of the sport takes time, and it's over time, right? So process and time is the same. So would you rather enjoy the process of it, or always hating on something on it to get your progression? In order to get progression, whatever you do, you still want to get there. So enjoy the process, and that's what matters the most, and that's where you will improve the most. The next point is always stay positive. Why we need to always have a positive mindset is because, let me give you an example. Even when you are injured, it is important to keep yourself in a positive mindset, because that will help you decide what are the things appropriate to do. For example, look out for correct physiotherapies, do the right exercises to help you rehab. If you have a very negative mindset, let's say injure your lower back, I'll be like, oh shit, I'm damned. I cannot do anything else. I'm just gonna lay there and not do anything and be a vegetable. And that's not gonna help at all, because you already have a bad mindset, and two, you decided not to do anything about it to help you in a positive mindset. Sorry, to help you recover from it, right? So I'm not Iron Man, I'm not bulletproof. Sometimes I get injured as well. But I'm the kind of person who don't like to tell people on Instagram, everyone in the world, that oh, I'm injured, because I do not like to display negativity in my towards people, right? Because um if you tell people, not like that, like if you're always negative and you portray on Instagram, right, it's not going to help you and yourself as well, and it's not going to help everyone watching in your feed. Okay. Last but not least, right, take the small wins. So what do I mean by that is, let's say we have 5 sets of 3 in a very challenging deadlift, in a weight that you have not experienced it before and have not tried before, and your challenge is to do 5 sets of 3. You only need 3 sets of good sets with good technique, whereas the 2 sets are like shit and you just want to complete it as much as possible. Take the small win. Take the small win by saying that yes, at least I completed 3 sets of 3 with good form. Because um back to zero, I did not try it at all, but at least I did 3 sets of the good sets. So take the small wins one by one. That's where you progress and keep yourself in a positive note in your mindset when we are doing this sport of powerlifting. I hope that you guys appreciate what we are trying to present to you guys, and we did our best to make it as enjoyable as possible by creating activity. And um, first of all, I would like to thank you guys for joining us and providing the feedback. It wouldn't be possible if you guys did not attend or did not say anything, because it would just be us talking stuff again. And I really appreciate it, and hope that this activity can happen again, because I really enjoy the interaction. This is one of the stuff that keeps me sane. If not, I will start to go crazy and talk to myself again. Okay, so if you guys really enjoy the those who are viewing it through YouTube later, if you guys enjoy the content and feel that the content is useful, so feel free to share it with other people whom those in need. And till then, I'll see you guys again. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.